Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my NFL picks for Week 17. This is the last week for the regular season, and then we're going to be doing playoffs picks. And the way I'm going to do playoff picks is just going by each game and a separate video each game. So stay tuned for that for next week. But last week for 20 NFL teams, so let's jump into it. Dolphins versus Bills. I have the Bills winning and covering here. I think the Dolphins are not going to show up in this game. Both these teams' seasons are over, by the way. I think the Bills' defense will take care of business. I want to say the Bills win a dominant 23-6 win over the Dolphins. I really don't see the Dolphins showing up at all. Next game, Lions versus Packers. The Packers are an 8-point favorite over the Detroit Doormats. And I think the Packers will beat the Doormats. I think they're going to cover that spread. I think Aaron Rodgers wants to finish the season strong. I think the Packers will beat the Doormats 37-17. I think it'll be a blowout or close to a blowout. To me, a blowout is more than 21 points. Next, Jets versus Patriots. Patriots still have a lot to play for. 13.5-point favorites at home. I think the Patriots do get the win at home against the Jets, or AKA the Clown franchise in New York. But I do think the Clown franchise, I do think they will cover that 13.5 point spread. I have the Patriots winning this game 30-20. So 30-20 Patriots over the Clown franchise in New York. Panthers versus Saints. Saints are 7-point favorites at home. Drew Brees will not be playing in this game, so he will be just under 4,000 yards. I wonder if Drew Brees would be like, hey, put me in a few plays so I could get to 4,000 yards. He only needs 8 yards for it, so maybe we will see Drew Brees throw a few passes or something. I don't know. The Saints. I was gonna pick the Panthers for this. Until I remember who the Saints backup was. Teddy Bridgewater. Saints will win and cover, especially with the Panthers not playing Cam Newton. I expect the Saints to go ahead. I think they're going to win this game 24-10 over the Panthers. So a 2-touchdown win for the Saints in the Superdome. Cowboys versus Giants. Giants are 6-point favorites at home. I don't know if the Cowboys are going to be playing their starters. I know a lot of Cowboys fans don't want them to, but for some reason I think they're gonna play Zeke. He's gonna get like 10 carries or something. Maybe Dak will throw the ball like 5 to 10 times. I think they'll play like a preseason game. The starters play the first half, but the backups play the second half. Either way, I do think the Giants will win this game. It is supposed to snow, it looks like, maybe, according to the AccuWeather thing. That's the one thing I like about ESPN. They put the AccuWeather, the supposed weather that it's supposed to be. So I think the Giants are going to go ahead. I think they win a low-scoring 16-10 over the Cowboys. So I think the spread's perfect. I think it will be a 6-point win for the Giants. Next game, Falcons versus Buccaneers. Falcons are 1.5-point favorites on the road. I'm picking the upset. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know there's a distraction with Deshaun Jackson. He wants out of Tampa Bay. Don't blame him, actually, because Tampa Bay's where careers die. But I do think Tampa Bay, they pull together, get the win here at home. I think Jameis Winston is playing for a contract. I think that's the reason why they're going to win this game. I think it's going to be high scoring. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game 40-34 over the Falcons. Next game, the Shit Tars versus the Texans. The Houston Texans are 6.5-point favorites. Texans have to win this game if they want to be in the playoffs, because if they lose this game, they could be out of the playoffs. So they gotta win against the Shit Tards. So 6.5-point favorites at home. I do think they beat the Shit Tards because I think the Shit Tards they want to show up. I expect the Texans. I think they're going to go ahead, and I think they're going to blow out the Shit Tards 41-14. I think it's going to be an absolute blowout in this one. I don't think the Shit Tards will show up at all. I expect the Sean Watson and the crew. The starters will play about 3 quarters in this one, and then they'll just bench everybody in the fourth quarter because they'll be over by then. Now, a lot of 425 games. First one is the Chargers versus the Broncos. Chargers, they pretty much have the fifth seed locked up at this point. They get the Broncos on the road. Um, I don't know what the playing situation is going to be, because if Kansas City, they play the Oakland Raiders. If Kansas City, if they're blowing out Oakland in the third quarter, in the Chargers, if it's even like a close game, they might just pull out the starters. So I don't know what it's going to be. I do have the Chargers winning, but I do have the Broncos covering that spread, as I know their head coach, Vance Joseph, is also coaching for his job at this point, even though I think this decision was made last Monday night against the Raiders, because that was a horrible game for the Denver Broncos, by the way. I didn't do a recap on it, but that was a horrible game by the Broncos. But anyways, I have the Chargers. I think they go in there. I think they beat them 23-20 against Denver. Tough place to play in Denver, but I do think I think it's gonna be interesting to see how the Chargers play it, because if Kansas City's blowing out Oakland, I don't know if the Chargers really would care about this game in the fourth quarter. So give me the Chargers to win 23-20, but I do think the Broncos cover that spread. Speaking about the Chiefs, they play the Oakland Raiders, as I just said. 14-point spread. I do think the Chiefs win and cover. I do think the Chiefs keep it. Not the Chiefs. I do think the Raiders keep it a little bit close. I have it 42-21. I have it as a 3-touchdown win for the Chiefs. I do think the Raiders keep it close to three quarters, but I think the Chiefs pull away in the fourth quarter. 49ers versus Rams. LA Rams, 10-point favorites at home. 49ers will want to play spoiler in this one, so I expect the 49ers to show up in this one. But I think the Rams are going to win and cover. I don't really care about the 49ers at this point. I have the Rams winning this game 34-16 over the 49ers. So an 18-point win for the Rams. I think they take care of business, and whatever happens, happens. If they're in the wild card or they get that second seed, I think whatever happens, happens. They have to actually scoreboard watch the Vikings-Bears game. Speaking about the Vikings-Bears game, Vikings versus Bears here is in Minnesota. Vikings are 4.5-point favorites at home, and I think the Vikings, both of these teams are playing for playoff spots, one way or the other. Vikings need the Eagles to lose, I believe, and they need to win or something like that. And Bears, they need to win and hope that the 49ers lose. I think the Minnesota Vikings, I think they're going to win, the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think they cover that spread, 4.5-point spread. I have the Vikings winning a low-scoring 19-17 win over the Bears. I don't trust the Vikings at all, which tells you that I definitely have them being eliminated in the wild card. But I do think I think they'll get the win, because I think the Bears, once they realize that the Rams are beating the crap out of the 49ers, I think the Bears will ease up in the second half. I think a lot of scoreboard watching is going to be done this week. So that's why I have the Vikings winning this game 19-17, because I think the Bears could maybe ease up a little bit in the second half if the Rams are definitely going to look like they're going to beat the 49ers, which I have them beating the 49ers pretty good. Bengals versus Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers, 14.5-point favorites. Divisional rival game here, but the Steelers, if they gotta win this one, if they want a shot at the playoffs, I think Pittsburgh will take care of business and win this at home. I do have the Bengals covering that 14.5-point spread, though. I have the game 27-14 Steelers. I think is a 13-point win. I think the Steelers, they're going to play pretty well in this one, but I do think the Bengals will want to show out at the end of the year, maybe play spoiler for once. But we'll see what happens. But overall, I expect the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they're going to win this one 27-14. Cardinals versus Seahawks. Seahawks are 13-point favorites at home. I don't think it really matters if the Seahawks play their starters or their backups. I think they beat the crap out of the Arizona Cardinals. I got to think of a good nickname for the Cardinals, by the way. Anyways, Seahawks, they're going to dominate this one. I expect them to win this one 31-0. I have it as a shutout in this one. I think the Cardinals suck. I think there's absolutely no way in hell the Cardinals win this game. and I expect the Seahawks to shut them out 31-0. And I don't care if Russell Wilson doesn't even play a snap in this game. Eagles versus Redskins. Eagles, they're a 7-point favorite on the road. They got to win to get in. Redskins, they are pretty banged up, but they fight. They played pretty well against my Tennessee Titans. I do think that I do think that the Eagles, I think they're going to win this one. I do think the Skins cover, though. I do believe that. I think Nick Foles somehow, they get the job done. I have the Redskins winning this one 24-19. I think it's a 5-point win for the. I have the Eagles winning 24-19. I think it's a 5-point win for the Eagles. I just think the Eagles is just a better team. Skins are too banged up right now. I expect the Eagles to get the win here, 24-19. And then the final 4:25 game, Browns versus Ravens. Ravens are 5.5-point favorites. This spread was originally at 10 points, but I got lowered down to 5.5. I have the Ravens winning. They got to win to get in my opinion, because I think Pittsburgh's definitely beating Cincinnati. So I have the Ravens beating this hot Browns team at home. They'll split the series, Ravens and Browns. For a score, I think it'll be low scoring. I think Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson will both struggle in this game per se. So, but I do have the Ravens at the end of the day. I think the Ravens do go out and get the 17-9 win. I have the Ravens actually covering the spread here. I just think that the Browns on the road are not. I think the Browns on the road are a different team than they are in the dog pound. So that's, to me, the main reason I'm picking the Ravens. Also, I think the Ravens are the hottest team in the NFL right now. But that's just my opinion as well. But we'll see what happens. But I got the Ravens winning this one 17-9. And I think they move on to the playoffs and win the AFC North. And then Sunday Night Football. First time in 10 years, it feels like. Or was it 9 years? This is a big deal. Tennessee Titans on Sunday Night Football. I am so fired up for this game. I'm doing a separate video previewing this game as well later today. Actually, I already filmed the video. It just has to be downloaded. I'm downloading that around 9-10 p.m. Hopefully. Tennessee Titans. Man, I can't believe we're on Sunday Night Football. We're playing the Colts, by the way. Colts are 3.5-point favorites against us, and I'm going with the ship. You can call me biased all you want. I'm picking the Tennessee Titans to win 20-16. I'm going to explain a lot more why later. But I'm going to. Mario is questionable. I expect him to give it a go. And I think they're going to get the win 20-16. I'll explain why more in the preview. Stay tuned for that preview. If you want to see why, where we have the Titans beating the Colts 20-16. So that's my picks for Week 17, the final week. I just picked 20 irrelevant teams. And next week we're doing playoff picks. So thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. More likes, more subscribers, more fun we can have on the channel. Thanks for watching the game. Thanks for watching the video again. And this is McD the Beast signing off.